Hello and welcome back to my beer reviews with me, Ruku. Today's beer review, I've had this before, but I've not reviewed it. And to be quite honest with you, it's a little bit old now. I mean, I tried it when it was more or less new, and it's getting old now. A lot of you lots of you have reviewed this. It is, of course, Brewdog's Double Punk IPA. This comes in at a cracking 8.2%, 440ml. Don't know where I can get that. There we go. Let's see. No, the camera's not going to pick it up. Here we are, 8.2. There's a 440. This then basically is their original beer that started it all. All they've done is basically ramped it up with more alcohol. So the original, I think, was at like 5.8 or something like that. It's now up to like 8.5% nearly. So they've really ramped this up. And it just says there, the beer that started it all. Amplified. So in other words, they've just jazzed it up. So Brewdog then, from Scotland, technically a craft beer, although I don't actually class them as a craft beer company anymore because they're so established. They've got lots of beers out there and they've been going since like 2007, so I don't really class them as a craft beer company anymore. I class these guys as a proper brewery. So let's crack this open. Okay, so here we go. Here's the pour for you. Looks just like the original. Maybe a little bit yellower. A bit more see-through and crisper looking. It really does look really like the original, as I said, but a bit more clearer. I'm trying to get every last drop out of that. So there you go, there's your colour. Very, very pale. Now, in this, again, with the camera, it looks really golden, but here today, on my eye, it's very pale looking. It's almost like a Pilsner colour. Good steady carbonation coming up. Head is foamy. Mixture of sort of big and loose bubbles there. It looks a bit as if it's going to diminish, so, it doesn't look like it's going to hold very well. Bubbles in the beer itself are small, streaming slowly towards the top, just keeping its edge. But other than that, quite a good looking beer. I think you'd agree with that. So let's crack on with some smells. There's a slight citrus, but what stands out the most is an overpowering smell of leafy hop. It's really, really leafy hoppy. It's like, I can't explain it. It's just proper fresh leafy hop smell. Maybe a little bit of grapefruit in there, citrus, but mostly of that hop. So is this going to be twice as hoppy as the last one? I really don't know. Let's find out. Yes, it is. Packs a bit of an alcohol punch. Very, very hoppy. Like a real leafy hop. Then it goes into a slight finish of an oily hop. So leafy hop, dry hop, oily hop. Literally in that order. Keep getting hairs, man. I think you can really taste the alcohol content in this, and you know that they've ramped this up. They've ramped this up not just in the alcohol, but in the flavour department also. You've got doubled hops. The hops are more profound. It's more noticeable. It leaves you with the aftertaste of just a hop bite, a tiny little bit of grapefruit, maybe even a slight lemon there, and a zestiness also, but mostly of that hop. Now, going back to what I mentioned before, it starts off with just a leafy hop, then a bittering hop, and then an oily hop at the end, and it is literally in that order. So let's go over. The start of it is the leafy hop, so the leafy hop gives it the prickliness, the leafy effect. It's like a crumbly, hoppy leafy flavour to it. Then it goes into this bittering hop. Bittering hop will dry your tongue out a little bit. If I burp, so I'll have a good beer. It almost dries your mouth and your tongue out. Man, I'm going for it today. So the bitterness dries the mouth and the tongue out, as I said. It then almost makes way for this oiliness, and it's just a slight oily resin that's left in the mouth, and especially on the tongue. You really notice it on the tongue. That oiliness just sort of coats the tongue a little bit to give it that slipperiness of hop. And then straight away after that, the aftertaste has gone back to a dryness, where all you can taste is a dry bittering hop. So have they ramped this up? Hell yes, they have. You know, the alcohol hits you straight away. There's no denying the alcohol hit. The head, you really have to work the head. The head in the mouth isn't really there, but when you really let it swish, it is actually quite pleasant. The head is foamy. You can really taste those small bubbles on the tongue and in the mouthfeel. It really feels like little mini needles popping around the mouth and on the tongue. It's really beautiful. And I like that. It's almost like a massage for the mouth. The body, I'm not too sure what that is, if it's medium or light to medium. It's really somewhere in between. I say it's a tough one to call that. But as you can see, there is virtually no lacing. Just bring it down a bit, you can see just drips and drabs. It's quite a clean looking beer, and especially in different lights, it changes colour in different lights. So, as I say, how it's looking now is pretty much how I'm seeing it on my mind's eye, but before it was slightly different. The head could be a bit better, I must admit. The head should be a little bit more bigger than that, but it's really diminishing quite quickly, so it's a little bit disappointing. Overall then, it's a very hoppy beer, and as you know, if you're a regular viewer and subscriber of mine, you will know that I can't stand my hoppy beers. Well, I like hops, but I don't like them too hoppy. This to me is pretty much too hoppy, but weirdly enough, I like it. And I put it down to the fact is it's not just one type of hop. You've got 3 different flavours of hop there, and they all take it in stages, and they all hit the taste buds different stages. So it's not just this blended Bosch hop overpowering. You know, it's not just like, oh, it's all bitter, or it's all this hop, that hop. It really does take it in stages, and that's what I really do like about it. So for that reason, I'm going to score this an 8 out of 10. Decent brew. It was the original beer by them that started it all. So it's only fair that I give it a reasonable score, and that is an 8 out of 10. So, what more could you ask for? Thank you so much for watching, and join me next time for some more beer reviews. And if you've liked this video, give me the thumbs up, or even share it to your friends. Cheers.